What up, YouTube? Bro, I'm back for another video on this beautiful day, y'all. And these are 5 things I ain't growing no more, and 5 more I'm doubling down on. Stay tuned. All right, let me start by saying this. At the end of every spring and summer gardening, I sit down and I have an honest conversation with myself. I grew this, I grew that. Is it worth growing again? And that it's a whole bunch of factors in that. How my family like it, how productive it is, and is it something that stores easily? All that factor into this list. Now, another thing that factors into it is just taste. Everybody has their own taste buds. This is just my list. Make your own list and list your own things, but it is what it is. Let's begin. All right, let's start with onions. I didn't plant these just some bulbs that I left in the ground. I didn't harvest them. Never gonna grow onions again. I got a couple reasons for this one. A, I don't even like onions. My family eat onions, but not a lot at a clip where I need to grow a whole bunch of them. If I grow, I don't know, 10 onions, that's probably enough for my family to eat. But we can just get those from the grocery store. It is not that serious. We live in Georgia. Vidalia onions are everywhere, and they're good for taste and recipes. The other reason is a lot of people grow onions for pest control. They say based off the smell of onions that a lot of bugs and insects stay away from it. I'm gonna give you some common sense knowledge on this. If you hungry enough, if somebody puts something around that doesn't smell good to you, are you not gonna eat that? And you're hungry? You're gonna eat it. Let's start there. You're gonna eat it. So unless whatever you're doing kills the bug, it doesn't work. Just smell has nothing to do with killing insects. They're not gonna stay away from this just because it smells bad. They're gonna crawl right over it and get to the plant they wanna eat. Just saying what I said. I'll see you in the comments. All right, next thing on my list, ground cherries. I haven't planted ground cherries in 3 years, but as soon as a ground cherry hit the ground, you got ground cherries in that spot for at least 2 years, no matter how you pull them out. Ground cherries are delicious, super delicious, but based off just the invasiveness of them, I'm over them. I never grow ground cherries again. And the thing that people got to understand is they're called ground cherries. So as soon as they get ready, they fall into the ground. And if they fall into the ground, they're going to reseed themselves and you're going to have them forever. Forever. So if you thinking about growing ground cherries, grow them in a pot on top of a bunch of cement that gets no rain and is level where they won't roll. That's the only way to grow ground cherries. Good luck to you. All right, next up is butterfly peas. Yeah. Mine's still growing. But the thing about this butterfly pea plant, you use the flower to make a drink that I heard is delicious and highly nutritious. But I'm gonna tell you what pissed me off. The peas on there, you can't eat them. You can't eat the peas. I feel like it's false advertising. The butterfly peas, not butterfly flower. The name of it is butterfly peas. I can't eat these peas. Then I come out here for the flowers. If you don't harvest those flowers when they're open and looking pretty, then it's a waste. So butterfly peas or whatever, never again in my garden. Never again. Never, ever, ever. Look at them beautiful peas you can't eat. I'm throwed off. That is diabolical. Now for this next one, I want y'all to see my face. Look at this mug right here. Look right here. Patty pan squash. Oh my God, it's disgusting. You know what's worse than yellow patty pan squash? White patty pan squash. It has no flavor. No flavor. And to the people who like patty pan squash, I take my hats off to you. It is diabolical. Diabolically horrible. I like squash. I like most squash. And my wife is a top 10, top tier cook. Do you hear me? She make dirt taste good. So if my wife can't make patty pan squash taste good, never ever will I grow patty pan squash. And I don't care what the name, they got all kind of name. It's called scallop squash and this squash and that squash. It's all bad. It's all disgusting. So if you like patty pan squash, once again, my friend, I take my hat off to you. Super large size tomatoes. And I know everybody talk about slice of tomato. I need some sandwich slice of tomatoes. Yeah. The productivity of those tomatoes are horrible. Horrible. I said it. I can grow medium-sized to small-sized tomatoes and get a whole bunch. Those large tomatoes take a lot of energy and a lot of time. That's the rain coming down. Don't worry about it. We're going to get this video over with. Take a lot of time to ripen. They use a lot of energy for those tomatoes. So it's not like medium-sized tomatoes where you're going to have clusters of 4 or 5. Large-sized tomatoes, you're going to get one on this branch, one on that branch, and one on that branch, and it's not going to produce that much. So going forward, y'all can throw all them sandwich tomatoes, the slicing size tomatoes, you can throw that out the window. I'm going to grow medium to small-sized tomatoes, and that's how we're going to do it. All those big German beefsteak tomatoes, and maybe you get them to grow better than I can, but I can't get probably 2 or 3 off a plant, and it's just not worth it in my garden. My garden is designed for highly productive plants and things that I can feed my family off. Yeah, it look pretty, but I can go to the grocery store and get 2 or 3 a year. Just saying. Now, these are the things I will be growing more of. I'm doubling down on them. First off, honey nut squash. Jesus Christ, those things are goddamn delicious. Delicious. I mean, it tastes like almost like a sweet potato, but it got a cinnamon taste to it. Oh my God, I'm gonna insert a picture of this. If you've never grown honey nut squash, put it on your list. Go get some seeds for the honey nut squash. It's one of the most awesome tasting things I've ever had in my life. Yes, and it's highly productive. I probably got 15 to 20 off 2 plants. That's productivity, and they store decent. So if you haven't tried, go find honey nut squash. And along the lines of awesome squash to grow, Kusha Squash will change your life. Kusha Squash is worth it. The only reason Kusha Squash to me is better than honey nut squash because it's bigger. One Kusha can feed is 2 or 3 meals, y'all. 2 or 3 meals, and it's delicious. It tastes great. I mean, it stores for maybe 6 months. Times get hard. Put that Kusha in a cool, dark place and wait on it. It's worth the wait. Kusha Squash. Google it, look it up, whatever you got to do. It has a high Googleability rating. Googleability rating. You heard that? I mean, you can Google it easy. But definitely, Kusha Squash is a win, a big win. Next up, beans. I think these are purple hull. Beans is almost the perfect plant to grow. First off, they grow easy. They grow easy and they produce a lot of food. Then you let those beans dry out, and now you got dry beans that last God knows how long. All right, but let's double down on that. Not only that, but once you cut this plant at the base and let those roots die in the ground, it adds nitrogen to your soil. Some more beans I'm growing up here. Blue Lake bush bean. They add nitrogen to your soil. And it's so many ways you can use it. You can let those beans dry, grind them up, and you have fertilizer. Beans are darn near the perfect plant to grow. Few things you can plant that improve your soil health. They're healthy and they taste good. Name something else that's better to grow in your garden than beans. I got time. Last but not least, perennial herbs. This is my time. You see that there? That ain't dead. That's just time playing sleep. Awesome thing with growing a lot of herbs, all your seasoning can be grown in your backyard. Stop buying seasoning from Kroger. You don't know what that crap is. Grow your own herbs. You can dehydrate them, dry them, use them fresh. But if it's a perennial herb that's just gonna grow how I wanna grow, let it grow. I am tired of buying spices and stuff from Kroger when I can grow it in my backyard. And fresh time out your garden is nothing like the time that you get at the grocery store. It's not even close. A lot of herbs are like that. Speaking of those herbs, pineapple sage, rosemary. I will double down on all herbs that I currently, oregano, all herbs that I don't currently grow in my garden. Herbs are just that important. Herb goes to not only teas and tinctures and things of that nature, but it's super good for the body and it's natural. The bees love it. Look at those flowers. They are pretty. It just makes your garden awesome. All right, that's gonna wrap this video up. Make sure you put in the comments the things you're not growing no more based off what you grew in the spring and summer. Put them in the comments. And if you made it this far, make sure you hit the like button, you subscribe, and grow what you grow, no matter how you grow it. But just grow something. I'm out.